Greetings to everyone out there in the No DQ galaxy. Welcome to No DQ's predictions video for WWE Extreme Rules, the one night of the year when WWE goes extreme. I am being joined by the No DQ panel. First up, in place of Virtue, we have Big G, Jeffrey, who of course is playing the role of John Laurinaitis if Jeff was Vince McMahon. So how's it going, Big G?
I'm doing good, guys. Glad to be on here. Hopefully, we have different opinions for this panel tonight. I'm good. How is good old JM doing tonight?
Good old JM is good. I'm noticing that Greg has the current No DQ Wrestling Trivia Challenge championship belt on his, and of course the wrist thing. You always got the wrist gimmick for sure. But I decided I'm going to bring back an old favorite just for tonight. Just for tonight to have the big gold belt with me, because you know what? Nobody's here but me. I'm lonely in this damn house, this big ass house of mine. So I'm having a close friend with me tonight as we do the predictions.
Greg, your thoughts?
See, much like the big gold belt, you don't have that Wrestling Trivia Challenge Championship either. You have to have something that's still on TV, and that's the Intercontinental title. And I'm still the Wrestling Trivia Champion, 123, 124 days, somewhere around there. And I've got to keep the reign going.
Well, we got people lined up, so we'll see what happens. But Jeff, unfortunately,
take him out.
Jeff, unfortunately, will have to watch from the sidelines. But enough of that. Check out Wrestling Trivia Challenge on NoDQ.com when it returns. Let's talk about Extreme Rules. As Big G said, hopefully we have different opinions. Maybe one of the four of us actually has high expectations for this show. That would be a different opinion. I'm pretty sure all of us have fairly low expectations for this show. But maybe like Money in the Bank, this pay-per-view will exceed the low expectations and actually be a good show. Let's go ahead and break it down. We have 11 matches. Thank you for that, DX.
You're welcome.
All right, so we have 11 matches, including the kickoff. Let's talk about the kickoff. It's nice to actually have a full card, including the kickoff. I will say that. It is a tables match between The New Day and Sanity. Sanity, of course, fresh off a loss on this week's SmackDown Live. So, in addition to the prediction, I would like to know your guys' thoughts on this match being the kickoff match. Do you think another match on the card should have been the kickoff? So, JM, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the match, and do you think it's the right kickoff match?
I think the kickoff match should be Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley, personally.
Which will likely be the main event.
It is the one match on this entire card I do not even remotely care about, and that's the God's honest truth. But the New Day Insanity, it's one of those things where you and I, Aaron, and Greg, of course, has been along for the ride. We've been talking about it for a while. The New Day act is starting to thin out in terms of popularity. So having them in the kickoff makes sense. Sanity being in there with them on the kickoff only makes sense because Sanity is still a fresh thing on SmackDown, and they're not quite established on the Blue brand yet. So having them be in the opening match makes the most sense, I suppose. As far as a prediction, like you said, they're fresh off a loss Tuesday, so they almost have to win on Sunday, right?
You would think that.
And I don't foresee the New Day needing to win a match at this point against a pay-per-view debut of Sanity, number one. Number two, it's ready-made for them. It's a match of chaos. It's a match of insanity. So why shouldn't they win?
All right. Well, Jeff, if Sanity loses this one, WWE might as well just give up on them, in my opinion.
If Sanity loses this, I will personally call into the pay-per-view wrap-up on Sunday when I'm out of town and admit my fault in doubting the New Day. How about that?
All right, sounds good. So, Big G, your thoughts on this match?
Well, I'm going to kind of take off of Jeff there. In my opinion, I figured that the Raw Tag Team titles would be on the pre-show match just because it's the B team.
Yeah.
As far as who's going to... My prediction for this match, I think Sanity needs to win this match. I mean, you had this whole feud over a couple weeks ago when the New Day was doing a pancake eating contest, and you have Sanity attack them from behind and put them through a table. So you have a tables match, and they lost yesterday on SmackDown Live. So I'm going with Sanity to win this match.
All right, Greg?
I mean, what you have to have Sanity win this match. Like you said, Aaron, if they don't win, they might as well give up on them. You bring them to the main roster, and then and make them immediate jobbers. I mean, it makes no sense.
Right.
They're former tag team champions in NXT. Of course, that hasn't meant much for any of the other NXT tag team champions, the revival.
Yes.
About half the NXT tag teams. But Sandy has to win. I'm guessing it's going to be either Woods or Kofi going through the table. I don't think they're going to make Big E be the one to go through the table. Is this elimination or is it just straight up tables match?
They haven't indicated.
They said
probably first person.
They said that the first person from either team that goes to the table, that team wins.
Okay.
So it's not elimination. So I'm going with Sanity. It's probably going to be Kofi or Woods going through the table.
Makes sense, and I agree with everyone. I think Sanity winning is the only logical choice. Plus, the fact that it is a table match gives New Day a way to lose without being pinned or made to submit.
Right.
It's pretty much tailor-made for the heels winning this, and then New Day could save face because they lost in a tables match and not in a regular match. So we're all going with Sanity to win this one. So far, we're all in agreement. Let's move on here and see if we can have some different opinions. This one might have a mixed reaction from you guys. Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin, or should I say Constable Corbin. This feud has been basically built off of a tag team match from a few weeks ago. Not a whole lot of build-up for it. I personally, here we go, I sound like a broken record. I do not care about this match. I have no interest in it. I'll be saying this all night. I really don't care who wins. I think Balor desperately needs it, though. Corbin is kind of hot right now with his character. It seems like he has reinvented himself. He shaved his head. He's got some heat. I think Balor, though, is just completely lost in the shuffle. He was one of the random guys trying to break up the Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns brawl. I think Balor really needs a win here badly. So, Big G, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the match. Do you have any interest in it?
No, just like you, I really couldn't care about this match. I feel bad for Finn Balor, you know. Just a couple years ago, he was the first Universal Champion. Yep. Still hasn't gotten his rematch, by the way. He's lost the Demon character. Constable Baron Corbin, I think he needed that. He needed some kind of reinvention with himself because he was getting kind of stale lately. So I'm going with Corbin to win this match.
Wow, interesting. Well, I'm going to go with Finn Balor just because I think he needs it more. But let's get No DQ's resident Baron Corbin #1 supporter, Greg Cherry's thoughts on this.
See, I actually like this match. I mean, and the phrase "not a lot of build-up" is probably going to be used a lot throughout this video too, because let's face it, nobody knows how to write feuds. But Corbin and Balor, I think, should be a good match. I'm not going to say it's going to steal the show because I think we all know which match is going to steal the show. We'll get to that in a bit. But I think this will be a decent match. I'm going to... I don't know if they extend this to SummerSlam or not. So I'm going to go with Finn Balor winning by disqualification.
Interesting. DQ finish. All right. So, Big G, you're going with Corbin, and Greg, you're going with Balor by DQ. All right, Jeff, so it's on you now. Who are you going with?
Well, I hate to ride the champ's coattails, which I've been apparently doing for the last couple weeks, you know, supporting the championship reign, but I absolutely agree with what Greg just said. I actually care about this match. I like both guys. Really high on Corbin. Of course, my son loves Corbin. That's Dylan's favorite is Baron Corbin. He doesn't like the whole constable gimmick, but again, it's still kind of new for him. He's still trying to understand why he needed the gimmick change, but whatever. I think they're going to continue this on to SummerSlam because neither one of them have anything going into SummerSlam, and they're not going to be able to build anything for them in the SummerSlam, with, you know, that quick. So I think they're going to extend it on, and I think Balor does win here by DQ. That way we have a definitive finish at SummerSlam.
All right, solid predictions from you guys. I think that very well could end up being the case here, where there's some sort of screwjob finish to set up SummerSlam. All right, let's move on here to the United States Championship match. Jeff Hardy defending against Shin, also known as Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, Nakamura was bitten by a dog a few weeks ago, and his momentum has definitely cooled off in recent weeks. not just because of that, but losing to AJ Styles at Money in the Bank. I feel like, well, here's the thing, to use your phrase, Jeff. Jeff Hardy doesn't need the United States title. He's over. Nakamura, I think, needs the win. I think he needs the title. And I think Hardy chasing the title is better than Hardy being the champion at this point. So I'm going to predict the title change. I'm going to say Nakamura captures the title. So, Greg, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the match.
I really agree with you. I think Nakamura is going to win the championship. Since Nakamura's a heel, I'm expecting some sort of shady finish. I don't know if he's going to be the master of the low blow again, but I think that there's going to be some cheap finish leading to the Kinshasa and Nakamura becoming the new champion, or maybe just a roll-up. We don't have enough of those.
Yeah, right. All right, Big G.
Oh, man, what to say. I've been a big Jeff Hardy fan for a long time, but I think I'm going to have to agree with you guys. I think Nakamura needs the title win here. He desperately needs it after the 6 matches he's had with AJ Styles. Jeff Hardy really doesn't need it, like you said. He's already over it as it is, just with the last name. So I'm going with Nakamura to win the U.S. title.
All right, JM, you going to go 4 for 4 here?
Nakamura had 6 opportunities to win the WWE Championship and did not do it. If anybody needs a momentum boost, it's Shinsuke Nakamura right now. Good Lord. And like you said, Aaron, Hardy doesn't need the U.S. title. I almost said IC. The U.S. title. The U.S. title does not need Jeff Hardy either. It needs somebody that is going to be able to carry it and do something with it rather than just be a placeholder. Nakamura's that guy.
All right, so we're all going with Nakamura to win the title, which means most likely Jeff Hardy will be retaining at the pay-per-view. All right, let's move on here and talk about the steel cage match, Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman. Now, this one, I'm wondering if the stipulation will also play into Kevin Owens perhaps winning, since he could escape the cage, I'm assuming. But maybe they announced it's only a pinfall. I'm not sure what the rules are exactly, because it seems like WWE changes it every time. Usually, it's either pinfall or first to escape the cage. In this type of match, it could be tailored for Owens to win, since he could escape the cage maybe by fluke. Maybe Strowman throws him into the cage and it breaks and Owens hits the floor or something like that. But I could also see Strowman just squashing Owens. I could see this one going either way. I'm kind of torn, so I'm going to put you guys on the spot. JM, let's start with you. Your prediction for the match.
I think either way they book it, whether it's pinfall and escape or submission and escape, if it's no escape, I think they're going to find a way to give Owens the win. Owens has been pretty much booked into Jokeville since he came back to Raw and the Superstar Shakeup or whatever the hell he came back for before WrestleMania. Whatever the hell he came back. He's been completely booked as a jobber, as was Sami Zayn before he got hurt and went on the shelf again. So I think Owens needs the win. I don't think Strowman needs anything right now. He's got that contract in the briefcase. He's ready to go whenever he wants to go. Whenever Lesnar decides to stop being in the damn octagon using naughty words. I think Strowman doesn't need it. Owens does. I think they're going to find a way to book Owens as the winner. I know usually a steel cage is designed to be the ultimate out for the babyface, but the babyface has been the one chasing Owens throughout the arena the last few weeks. So Owens needs to get a little bit of redemption here, and this is how he does it. He wins by escape.
All right. Big G.
Well, I think Owens is going to win this match. He's going to somehow climb over the cage and escape. And, I mean, I'm really looking forward towards this match. I mean, I like Braun Strowman. I like Kevin Owens. Braun Strowman really doesn't need the win, though, because he has the Money in the Bank briefcase. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Kevin Owens escaping over the cage to take the victory.
Interesting. All right, Greg.
See, I actually have a fear for this match. And I'll let you know what it is, because I'm picking Braun to win. My fear with this match is that they're going to make Braun look so strong to the point where people are going to treat him like they're treating Roman Reigns. It's starting to become that kind of booking style And I don't want to be that guy to crap on Braun because Braun's done a great job for coming up in the Wyatt family, being a complete unknown and doing what he's done. But if he just continues to look strong and strong and strong and has like no vulnerability whatsoever, and I don't know if I'm a fan of the way he's been booked. This whole feud has been weird. Like, what did Owens do to him? Really? I'm going with Braun to win, but I really don't care for this build-up at all.
Right, yeah. I agree with you 100%, Greg. I'm actually going to go with Strowman. What I would like to see happen is Strowman. Well, see, I'm just not a fan of this match, period, but Owens needs to win, and Strowman really shouldn't be losing. So it doesn't really work very well the way this match has been put together. I guess the best finish, in my opinion, would be Strowman throwing Owens into the cage. It breaks, and Strowman hits the floor and wins that way by fluke. That way, Owens technically gets the victory, but Strowman is protected. But, Greg, I just have this fear, too. Strowman, see, the thing is, when the Money in the Bank holder, usually prior to winning the title, they sometimes go on a bit of a losing streak. But Strowman is a different breed. Strowman is being booked like Roman Reigns and John Cena at this point. He is being protected. He is being billed as one of their top guys right now. So I think Strowman's just going to win. I hate to say it, but looking at how WWE does things, I think Strowman's just going to destroy Owens and run right through him. Greg?
See, my problem with this match is if they do that finish where Kevin gets thrown through the cage, they just did that at the Greatest Royal Rumble. We saw the cage break and them go to the outside. We don't need that finish that soon in what was literally the last steel cage match they've done. Have they done one since? I don't think.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think they had. So why repeat the finish?
All right, here's a question. So what happens if Strowman power slammed Owens and the ring broke and they hit the floor? Would that count if it's inside the ring, or does it have to be outside the ring?
It has to be outside the cage because No Way Out 2005.
JBL got that win. Damn it.
Yes. No Way Out 2005 in Pittsburgh. JBL got the win when Big Show chokeslammed him through the cage and crawled outside the ring.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
So they could do that. They could do that where Strowman does the power slam, the ring, they go through the ring, although that would be weird unless it was the last match of the night, I guess. I don't know.
They broke the ring before Cena and Del Rio at Vengeance a few years ago.
I mean, how
Cena and Del Rio wrestled in a lopsided ring the entire time.
So the question is, how do you book a finish here where both guys get over? How do you do it?
You don't book the match. That's what happens. You don't book the match at all. This is... and you know what? This Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and I'm just going to go on a little bit of a rant. This is probably the least extreme one they've done since, I don't know, they started the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like 2007 was a little bit watered down, too, like when they just made WWE One Night Stand instead of ECW. But, this is an episode of Raw. This isn't Extreme Rules.
The steel cage match was booked out of an angle where the guy literally got tipped over in a freaking poop house. Okay, seriously.
Well, a blue water house.
The whole
All right. I think we've said enough about this match. Let's move on. All right. Next up, we have a 30-minute Iron Man match for the WWE IC title. Drew McIntyre is allowed at ringside, so he can interfere in this matchup. Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. Now, a few weeks ago, they had a match on Raw, went almost 30 minutes, and now they're doing a 30-minute Iron Man match. The big question here is, will there be any falls, or will it go into sudden death? Will Drew McIntyre's interference be the factor in this match? I mean, how are they going to do this? There's a lot of different ways it could go, so let's go ahead and break down the possibilities. So, Greg, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the match?
Well, whoever wins will win by one fall because there is never, I don't think in the history of the Iron Man match, anybody has won by more than one fall. You'll have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. I don't think anybody has won by more than one fall. So I'm going to pick Ziggler winning 3-2 because that seems like the typical half-hour score. If they were going for a full hour, I might actually do the same score, but 3-2 Ziggler. With McIntyre hitting the Claymore in like the last 30 seconds of the match, and Ziggler getting a pin and rolling out of the ring, so Rollins can't get another fall.
I like it, Greg. I like it a lot. Big G, your thoughts?
Well, I'm going the complete opposite. I think Seth Rollins is going to win back the IC title.
All right.
And I think I'm going to go with 1-0. I don't think Ziggler's going to get a pinfall. Seth Rollins is going to figure out a way to get rid of Drew McIntyre for the match and focus on Dolph Ziggler. Hit him with the curb stomp or the super kick, whatever you want to call it, and get the 1-0 pinfall.
All right. JM.
I think we're going to go down to 29 minutes and 30 seconds. Ziggler's going to be so frustrated he hasn't got a fall on Rollins yet, nor has Rollins got one on Ziggler. And McIntyre will get involved, and it will be 1-0, but it'll be Ziggler retaining.
Interesting. All right, so Jeff is going with Ziggler retaining. Who do I go with? Man, this one is tough. I really don't know, nor do I really care that much. I think Drew is going to play a factor in at least one fall, which will give Ziggler the advantage. It'll be 1-0. McIntyre will do something, and then Rollins will take out McIntyre, do something to him to... I don't even know, because that'll make McIntyre look weak. I'm just not a fan of this with McIntyre being at ringside. I'm just not a fan of it, period. I agree with Greg, though. Maybe they'll do something with like a DQ where McIntyre will purposely cause a DQ, but he'll beat Rollins so bad that Ziggler will get 2 falls on Rollins, and then Rollins will come back at the end, right before the 30 minutes expires, to make it 2-2, and then it'll end in a draw, and the champion retains 2-2. There will be no sudden death. It'll just end at 2-2, and Ziggler retains. That way, Rollins doesn't look weak because he just lost due to a draw. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be 2-2 at the end, with Ziggler retaining and no sudden death. So there you go.
Bold prediction by Riff.
All right, let's move on here to the SmackDown Live Tag Team title match. The Bludgeon Brothers defending against Daniel Bryan, the Yes Man, and the Big Red Machine, the Big Red Demon, the In-Sync fan, whatever you want to call him, Kane. All right, so this one's really interesting. This is another one where I think it could go either way. They just put out a new T-shirt for Bryan and Kane, which doesn't necessarily mean anything. Kane has his election coming up in early August. So the question is, will Daniel Bryan and Kane get one more title run for a feel-good moment and maybe drop the titles in a week or two on SmackDown Live? I could see that happening. Or maybe the Bludgeon Brothers just beat Kane and that's the end of it, and Bryan starts building up towards a match with The Miz. Maybe The Miz interferes and costs Bryan and Kane the match. So there's a lot of possibilities. Jeff, you seem very invested in what I just said, so your predictions for this match.
I think it's going to go toward the way of Team Hell No, and then we're going to see some sort of shenanigans where the ref gets distracted and then Miz costs Team Hell No the victory. And maybe Miz even gets Bryan involved with himself, and they start, fighting with each other. And Kane takes the fall, like you said. Kane should be the one to take the fall here. That way Bryan's protected, but Bryan will be involved with the Miz somehow during the fall, which is why he won't notice it's happening. So the Bludgeon Brothers win. Kane takes the fall.
All right, Greg, your thoughts?
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm saying Team Hell No wins the titles. Because I don't think they're doing Bryan and Miz at SummerSlam. I think they're going to draw that out as long as they possibly can. I've said it on reviews. They're going to save it for WrestleMania. SummerSlam, I think, would still be way too early. They can start the build at SummerSlam, but I don't think they should have their match. So I'm going with Team Hell No to win, and I say they lose at SummerSlam in a triple threat tag match.
How can they do that if Kane wins the election? If he wins the election, he's done. I
don't know.
All right.
I don't book for them. I'm just trying to make a scenario.
All right. Well, I do agree with you, Greg. I think Team Hell No is going to win for the feel-good moment, and then they're going to lose it right away, either on SmackDown or the next SmackDown after that. and at that point, The Miz will interfere and cost them. The Miz is actually not going to be there. I just realized this. He's got another thing he's got going on here. So, Jeff, if you want to change your prediction, you can.
Okay, well, hell.
I'll give you a minute here. I'm going to say,
go ahead.
I'll let you go last, Jeff, since I forgot to mention that The Miz actually isn't going to be there. I am going to go with Team Hell No winning the titles, having the feel-good moment, and then they're going to lose it right back to the Bludgeon Brothers in a rematch, and then Kane will have his election, and he'll go off into the sunset. Now, Big G, let's get your thoughts, and then Jeff can give a revised prediction.
Well, I think Team Hell No is going to win the tag team titles, but I think, like Greg said, they'll possibly lose it at SummerSlam in a triple threat. I mean, if Kane doesn't win the election, hypothetically, then they could keep it on them till SummerSlam, and then maybe have a triple threat or a fatal four-way and have either Sanity or another tag team win the tag team titles.
All right, Jeff, you want to go ahead and give a updated prediction?
Much stock in the fact that the election's coming up. Just because Glenn Jacobs has an election in August doesn't mean Kane has an election in August. If Glenn does not win the election, then Kane has plenty of room to work. If Glenn does win the election, then they got to get the belts off him right away. So if Glenn wins the election, they can have Kane and Bryan drop the belts at SummerSlam, like you said, Greg. So since Miz is not going to be there, I'm going to say Team Hell No does win the titles, and we'll see what happens after the election. We'll see how things play out from there.
All right, so we're all going with new champs then.
Yep, which means it won't happen now.
Well, see, the thing is, Miz isn't going to be there, so that takes away one possible way for Bryan and Kane to lose. I mean, it could just be Kane loses clean to the Bludgeon Brothers. That could happen, but I mean, I would be shocked if the Bludgeon Brothers retain, but
the only thing that will shock me is if the Bludgeon Brothers retain and Bryan takes the fall. The only thing that'll shock me.
I'm just thinking WWE from a business perspective. If Bryan and Kane win the titles, that's at least 1 or 2 weeks where they could keep selling T-shirts with the tag team champions and get as much money out of those shirts as possible.
Yep.
Once Kane and Bryan lose, then that's pretty much it. So I could see the title change just to get as much merchandise money as possible.
The merch, baby.
It's all about the merch. All right, so now, speaking of merch, they have perhaps the worst T-shirt of all time, but some people like shirts that are that bad, apparently. We have Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt defending against everybody's favorite B-Team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. In my opinion, this should just be a quick 5-minute match. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt win decisively, move on. Authors of Pain or Revival step in as the next challengers. So, Big G, your thoughts? I think you pretty much agree with what I just said.
You just literally took the words out of my mouth. I mean, nothing against Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, but after this whole imitation thing back and forth, or not back and forth, but the past 3 weeks with the B team, I think Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt should literally, like you said, beat them in 5 minutes or less, move on to the Revival or Authors of Pain. But knowing WWE, though, the B team will have another shot at SummerSlam.
No, they'll get their rematch on Raw, like WWE will say. Michael Cole will say on commentary, the B team went to Kurt Angle's office and demanded a rematch with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. So we're having a rematch just for the hell of it. That's exactly what's going to happen here, most likely.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, JM, your thoughts?
People are crapping the B team in the video. All right, well, I'm going to go against the grain here.
What?
I say the B team wins the tag titles here.
Oh, hell no.
No. That's on SmackDown. Team Hell No.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Wrong show. No, I'm kidding. No. Honestly, there's no reason the B team should win the titles at this point, only because they've been antagonizing Matt and Bray for so long that Matt and Bray have to get the win just to get their mojo back from them, if you will. So I say exactly what you said here. They have the match on Sunday, and then they have the immediate match on Monday. And at Monday's match, the Revival interferes out of protest, and that's how they set Revival against the Leaders of Worlds.
I like it. You mentioned Mojo Rawley, or you just said Mojo. Maybe Mojo Rawley.
And you know what? Mojo's nowhere near Pittsburgh.
Well, maybe Mojo can join the B team, and they could just make a faction like the new Job Squad.
Greg, say help, please, Greg.
Greg.
Mojo shouldn't be anywhere near a ring.
Especially in Pittsburgh on Sunday.
Yeah, he's friends with Gronkowski. He's not welcome. So here's the thing, to quote Jeff Meacham. I expect... No, you know what? I'm going to go different. I'm going to say the B team wins.
Oh.
And well, no, and you know what? I'm going to stick with it. The B team wins, and the Hardy Wyatt team does not get a rematch on Raw. I'm going to go long-term booking here, which means this has no possibility of happening. Long-term booking. B team wins. They celebrate. They say they're the greatest team on Raw, the greatest team in all of space and time, ripping off Matt Hardy. And then Kurt Angle books them in Tag Team Turmoil at SummerSlam.
Oh, nice. I dig it.
All right. So Greg is going with the B team. Jeff, you actually are going with Matt and Bray, though.
Yes, I am.
All right. Thank goodness one of you guys has some common sense. All right. Let's move on here to the SmackDown Women's title. Carmella defending against Asuka with James Ellsworth in a shark cage. So this is, in case you guys were wanting more shark cage matches, from last year's SummerSlam, good news. WWE is giving us another shark cage match. Whoopty. All right, so Greg, let's start with you. Your thoughts on this one?
Asuka's winning. There's no analysis needed. Asuka's winning. Well, if let me put it this way: if Asuka doesn't win, release her because there's nothing else she can do. If she loses to Carmella,
we know how these shark cage matches go. I mean, Ellsworth might just throw something down, and that'll lead to Carmella somehow winning. I'm gonna be a jerk here and say Carmella retains the title, and everyone's gonna be pissed off. I personally think Asuka should win the title very quickly, decisively, and just end this joke of a title reign. But I'm just going to make a crazy prediction and say Carmella retains. All right, JM, your thoughts?
I agree with you, Aaron.
Wow.
Carmella's going to retain the title. I don't know how, but these shark cage matches always go the way of the heel, or they go to a draw in the case of Ric Flair being the champion.
Wait, so what happened with Big Show and Big Cass? I've totally forgotten that match now.
Enzo slipped out of the cage, came down, Cass booted him anyway, and then Cass won the match.
Oh, so Cass did win despite the interference.
Yep.
More often than not, the shark cage container, whoever they're against, it helps them anyway. So I say Carmella retains, and Asuka just completely goes off her rocker and goes crazy and starts kicking everything in sight. And then that leads to something at SummerSlam.
Maybe Asuka goes heel. She snaps and just loses it.
Exactly. They have something. She was only really kind of like a quasi heel for a while because she was so arrogant and so dominant. They need to have her go full blown, pissed off at the world, batshit crazy heel.
I like it, Jeff. All right, Big G. I'm curious to see your thoughts now.
All right. Well, I was going to throw a curveball, but I forgot about the whole Enzo thing. Depending on how high they put the shark cage, I can see Ellsworth shimmying out of it. He tries to aim himself to land on Asuka, accidentally hits Carmella somehow, and Asuka wins the women's title finally. Like Greg said, if she doesn't win on Sunday, just let her go back to Japan, for all I care.
All right, so 2-2 for this one. All right, we're split right down the middle, Daddy.
I'm not surprised that Aaron and I went in the direction of a completely farcical situation.
I know, because I figured a while back I need to stop going with what I want to see happen and go with what's the stupidest outcome.
Thank you, boss. I've been saying this since we've been doing these prediction shows for 15 years. You need to not go with your heart. You need to go with your gut, brother.
Yeah, you need to go. I think we all need to go with what is the worst idea, and that's most likely what's going to happen. It shouldn't be that way.
Winning the title.
And see, when we do NXT, I always go with the logical outcome, and then I'm usually correct with my NXT predictions because they usually book the outcomes that make sense. But here, they just do random shit and just go with whatever they feel like. So
because Vince is booking the shows we're predicting more often than not, and we can't. Vince is so unpredictable anymore. We can't. Yeah,
I mean, you never know what's going through Vince's mind. So you got to try to book from Vince's
It's
perspective.
a place to be. It's Vince McMahon's mind. It's a wonder to be in that brain of his.
Yeah. All right, so here's another fun one for everybody. The Raw Women's title match. Alexa Bliss defending against Nia Jax. And at ringside, she bought a ticket, so she'll be there. Ronda Rousey. All right, so I think it's pretty obvious there are going to be shenanigans in this match. Rousey will do something. Let's start with Big G on this one. Your thoughts on this match, and what do you think is going to happen with Rousey?
So I'm a big Ronda Rousey fan, obviously. I think somewhere during the match, since it's an Extreme Rules match, Ronda's gonna jump over the barricade and help Nia Jax win back the Raw Women's title from Alexa Bliss, and then at SummerSlam they will have a triple threat match between Ronda, Nia, and Alexa Bliss.
Interesting prediction there.
So I'm going with Nia Jax to regain the women's title.
Interesting. All right. So now let's go on to Gregory. Your thoughts?
I don't think Rousey gets involved in the actual match. She'll get involved in the aftermath, and Alexa Bliss retains. It's going to be way better than Alexa Bliss and Bayley in that kendo stick on a pole match. I'll tell you that much.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'll go now. I'll let Jeff go last, so he can think of everybody's predictions and then come up with his own here. So I think it's going to be like the 95 Rumble where Alexa's going to be on the outside. She's going to like pie face Ronda or something. Ronda's going to jump over the barricade and interfere, causing a DQ. So Alexa will win by DQ. Nia's going to be pissed off that Ronda...
Extreme Rules match?
Extreme Rules match.
Oh, shit! Wow! Never mind. That just completely screwed me up. I forgot this was an Extreme Rules match.
Extreme Rules.
I legitimately forgot this was an Extreme Rules
match. You know what,
Aaron,
you're forgiven because there's very little Extreme Rules matches on the show anyway, so you're forgiven.
I was just thinking of Ronda Rousey. Like, this match has Ronda Rousey, and I totally forgot this match was Extreme Rules. Duh, because of the kendo stick. Wow. That just completely ruined my prediction. Jeff, you go now. I'm going last because I have no idea.
Okay. In that case, I'll go. Aaron, you can think of what your answer in a minute here. I was going to say basically what Greg said about the aftermath will be the key for Ronda Rousey. Alexa will retain. She'll find a way to get out of the Extreme Rules not benefiting her. It will benefit her. She'll retain the title. And then Ronda will jump barricades. And she's not suspended at Extreme Rules. She's only suspended on Raw, apparently. And she'll find a way to get involved there and lead toward Ronda versus Alexa at SummerSlam.
See, I think a triple threat would be more interesting, but the question is WWE ready to put Ronda in a triple threat at this stage of the game with her lack of experience?
Jeff hates triple threats anyway.
I just feel like Alexa and Ronda, I don't know. I don't really feel that match. It seems like such a mismatch. I'm actually going to go with Big G's prediction. I'm going to agree with Big G. I'm going to say Ronda helps Nia win the title back, and they're going to do a triple threat at SummerSlam. So I will agree with Big G on that one. And Jeff, you were going with
Alexa to retain outright.
All right, so Greg and Jeff are both going with Alexa. Myself and Big G are going with Nia Jax, although Nia Jax winning the title back, it just feels like they're flip-flopping the title so much. I'm not really a fan of it, but
it's so sad because when you think about it, that was a title that was established when they got rid of the word diva and became the women's division again. That title has been so devalued since the flip-flop between Sasha and Charlotte. It just keeps moving back and forth. Alexa added some stability to it. She was champion for so long, and now it just seems like a throwaway again.
See, I actually think Extreme Rules hurts this because I like my idea of doing the DQ where Nia gets screwed because Ronda just snapped and went after Alexa, and then that naturally sets up a triple threat match at SummerSlam, and you don't have to do a title change. So I think the Extreme Rules stipulation hurts this match. And this one I could also see going either way. Would not shock me if Alexa wins and what you guys said after the match, Ronda gets involved physically. This one could go either way.
Maybe Ronda gets involved after and Nia snaps on her for just frustration and then they make a triple threat anyway.
And Nia turns heel, and then next week she goes back to being a babyface.
Well, they might as well. She's the big show of the women's division for sure, as far as facing heel turn.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, I'll stick with my agreement with Big G for now, but yeah, I'm pretty torn on this one. All right, so now we move on to the two main event matches of the evening. The first one, which I think will not go on last, despite the fact that I think most fans would like to see it go on last, is the WWE Championship match. In my opinion, I think this should close the show, but yeah, not getting my hopes up on that one. We have AJ Styles versus Rusev. I'd love to see Rusev win the title, but I feel like he is just a filler opponent for AJ Styles. AJ will likely have a bigger championship match at SummerSlam against either Daniel Bryan or Samoa Joe. I think it's going to be one of those two. That will be the WWE title match at SummerSlam, and Rusev is just a placeover match for AJ and nothing more. But imagine the pop if Rusev won the title. That would be, to use AJ's phrase, phenomenal. So, Jeff, let's start with you. I'm going with AJ to retain. Your thoughts on the match. Do you think there's any chance Rusev Day prevails?
Jeff, me or Big Jeff?
JM.
Yeah, okay. First of all, if Rusev wins the championship, it'll be a Stanley Cup winning style pop. No question about that. And Greg can back me up on that because the fans will go nuts, much like the Penguins Cup 2 years in a row. They'll go crazy. But it won't happen. There's no way that Rusev is going to win the championship. I will say, however, that this match, more than the IC title match, because the IC title match is almost designed to be a show stealer. I think the WWE Championship match will, in fact, steal the show itself.
I agree.
It'll be a great contest. Rusev is there. He's in the moment with his career and his gimmick. English is always there to provide the backup. He's entertaining as hell. And AJ Styles. He's the best wrestler in the company right now. So you've got those three elements in the same match. It's going to be a phenomenal match to quote the WWE Champion. And he will retain, but it will be a great match, no question about it.
Yeah, Jeff, I agree with you 100%. This is like the opposite of Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley, where the crowd loves both guys, and it's going to have some great atmosphere. You're going to have the dueling chants, and I think it just has all the makings of being the show stealer. Really should close the pay-per-view. This match,
should, but it won't.
Yeah, it really should be the main event. Actually,
Hey, Aaron, I think if it does close the show, win or lose, whoever wins or loses, you should put this on a tweet. Send the tweet out. If the WWE title match closes the show, you'll send a free T-shirt to somebody to retweet the tweet.
I don't want to do that.
Okay. Trying to give you a little help there.
Because maybe for once it will happen. Maybe somebody will have an idea and actually say, you know what? Let's put the match that people want to see the most on last. The match that will likely be the best match. Let's put it on last. But we'll talk about Reigns and Lashley here in a few minutes. So, Big G, your thoughts on the match?
Well, I'm going completely opposite of you guys. I did this at the Greatest Royal Rumble. It didn't come true. But I know AJ Styles has been the champ for over 100 days now. He's on the cover of 2K19. But just to throw a swerve at us like they did last year when they put the title on Jinder, they will put it on Rusev. And have Rusev win the title, get the big pop, have him as a heel dominant champion for a while, have possibly a fatal four-way at SummerSlam between AJ, Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, and Rusev, and go from there. So I'm going with Rusev to win, and hopefully it'll close out the show.
Interesting. You know, that actually isn't the worst idea because I think last year the Universal title match was a fatal four-way, and we know WWE loves doing fatal four-ways. They haven't done one with the WWE title in a while, so that very well could happen, or they might do a triple threat or something like that. So, I mean, Rusev winning would be a shocker, but I would not rule it out. Greg, are you going to go with a similar prediction?
I was hoping that Big G would say AJ, so I could say Rusev and be different. But since he said Rusev, I'm going to have to go with AJ. As much as... See, this is a match where I'm okay with either guy winning. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's like if AJ wins, that's fine. AJ's a great champion. If Rusev wins, it's a big shock moment, and Rusev gets his moment.
Yeah.
So either way, it's perfectly fine with me. But I'm going to go with AJ retaining.
All right. So now we are on the main event match. Here's what I'm going to do, Jeff. I know. Are you just blacking out your camera in protest? Here's what I'm going to do. This may seem crazy since people think, oh, he only does these when it's a long shot. No. If Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley goes on last, I will send out a tweet, and one person that retweets it, if it goes on last, I will give out a free NoDQ.com t-shirt if Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley is the final match of the evening. Because I feel like this is going to be the one time where somebody is going to come to their senses and not put this on last. It's Pittsburgh, excuse me, Greg.
Whoa,
sorry.
Easy.
Whoa,
there, buddy.
Better city of Pennsylvania, my friend.
I know.
Whoa.
I think
you're in the wrong room, brother.
putting that match on last is just a recipe for disaster. Although the crowd, their attitude might be, you know what? Since the crowd's going to crap on it anyway, let's just put it on last. Who cares? The crowd's going to crap on it one way or another. But maybe this time it's going to be different. So perhaps there's a good chance somebody's going to win a T-shirt this time. I'm changing things up. This time, if Reigns and Lashley closes the show, one person that retweets what I send out on Twitter will get a free NoDQ.com T-shirt of their choosing. So they can choose.
I think the last Jeff Easter here's the thing shirt sent to him. That's what I think should happen. That's just my opinion.
Well, Greg's going to say one of those Greg Cherry T-shirts, and Big G's going to say the Big G T-shirt.
No, not for them. For me to get my own shirt.
Hey, you had a chance. All right. So now let's go to the predictions for this one. Let's start with you, Big G. Your thoughts on this match? Are you looking forward to it at all? Do you have any interest? What are your thoughts?
Well, you have the big dog, Roman Reigns, versus the Dominator, Bobby Lashley. Oh, jeez. Where do I begin? Well, I'm going to say I really couldn't care for this match. I mean, I have nothing against the two guys, but...
Sounds like you do.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Bobby Lashley to win. He needs it more than Roman Reigns does, in my opinion, because Roman Reigns will probably main event SummerSlam for all we know. I'm gonna go with Bobby Lashley.
All right. Well, I'll go second here for once. I don't think I've gone second yet. I always say this: it's hard to bet against Roman Reigns. Think of it from Vince's perspective. Is Vince really going to allow a guy that was in Impact Wrestling for 7-8 years to beat his guy? Think about it.
Vince is old and senile. He don't know what he's doing anymore.
Yeah, he's old and senile, which means he's going to go with what he wants. And he doesn't want any guy from another company going over his guy. Lashley has been in Impact way longer than WWE. People associate him with Impact. So I say there's little chance. I won't say no chance, but little chance Lashley wins. I'm going with the big dog, Roman Reigns, to win. It will be a battle. It will be a lot of kickouts, spears, maybe 5 spears from each guy, some crap like that. And the crowd will boo it out of the building, regardless of which position it's in. Maybe they'll just be quiet if it's the final match of the night. Who knows? But I'm going to go with Reigns to win. Jeff, let's go with you. JM, your thoughts?
Yeah, remember, Lashley is the guy that cost Vince his hair.
That is true.
He grudge against him anyway. So, Reigns. I don't foresee a situation that Roman Reigns loses in any circumstances, unless it's for the championship against Brock Lesnar, because that's the only time he ever does lose is against Brock Lesnar.
Right.
So, I say Reigns wins. It's going to be a back and forth, like you said, Aaron. It's going to go back and forth, a lot of near falls, more than we care to watch out of these two, quite frankly. But it's not going to be as bad as we all think it's going to be, but it's still going to be pretty bad.
All right, Gregory.
See, I don't think the match itself will be terrible. It'll go on last. And Aaron, you should amend it. If the match goes on last and Lashley wins, you should probably give out 2 T-shirts because I don't think anybody expects that to happen.
Big G does.
Well, he expects Lashley to win, but he can't win the shirt anyway.
Well, Big G, which do you think it's going to go on last?
I think so. Unfortunately, I think so. And if Lashley does win, I'll put a tweet out, and if somebody retweets it and Lashley does win, I'll send somebody a free T-shirt. One of my T-shirts.
Nice. There we go. Now Big G's getting in on the fun.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Well, I think we knew that, Jeff.
No money for a T-shirt. I can't afford my own damn T-shirt.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna join the fun too, and I'm gonna make.
You know what? We got to make Greg, and maybe even myself pay royalties for every time we use that line. That way, Jeff can buy his own T-shirt.
Right.
Pleasure. So I'm gonna have a little dual branded tweet. I'm gonna send out one that if Lashley wins his match and AJ and Rusev goes on last, I'll send somebody a free T-shirt if they retweet.
Oh wow! Everyone's getting in on the fun. I like it, except for Jeff.
But it has to be both of them. It has to be both.
Well, make it very clear in the tweet what it has to be. So, who are you going with?
I'm gonna go with Reigns. As much as I'd like it to go to Lashley, Reigns isn't gonna lose again.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have a different match, you know, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, but
That I would be interested in. Like people crap on Lashley. I actually like Bobby Lashley.
I do too.
Lashley, I would.
In my opinion, I think this feud with Roman Reigns is a lot better with a feud with Sami Zayn.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Couldn't be any worse.
It's much worse.
Yeah. But here's the thing: when Lashley, and yes, I just said it again, when Lashley first debuted, and don't take any offense to why I say this, people called him Black Lesnar because of the size of the guy.
Yeah.
And you know, I would like to see Bobby Lashley against Brock Lesnar. I think that's the match people actually want to see Brock Lesnar be it, because Lesnar Reigns has been done and done and done again, and Brock's beat him every time. We don't need to see it again. We don't need to see Reigns get his big win. He's been 3-time WWE champion. He doesn't need it right now. Somebody who hasn't been WWE champion or Universal champion or whatever the case may be, Bobby Lashley, I think could use that spot.
well,
Randy was AEW champion. He was in a WrestleMania marquee match.
yeah, he was in a main event match at WrestleMania. We don't know who his opponent was or what was going on in that match, but apparently he was in a main event match. You see the footage of him walking down to ringside, so there you go.
It had to be true, right? Yeah.
All right, man. That WrestleMania 23. I mean, between the Benoit stuff. Oh, I said the B word. Shit.
Can you just think about it? They can't say Umaga in this thing because he's dead. They can't say Trump because he's Donald Trump. It's just like they can't mention any part.
They can't say Benoit.
Bobby Lashley was involved in it.
Yeah.
MVP wrestled a ghost for the United States Championship at
That's
WrestleMania 23.
Yeah,
MVP defended the U.S. title in the ring at WrestleMania and still managed to not win the damn thing.
Yep.
All right, guys. So that was a very fun predictions video. I think that was more entertaining than the pay-per-view most likely, but we'll see. Maybe it'll surprise us and be a great show. So thank you to everyone out there for watching. We'll see how things go at Extreme Rules 2018. Now let's do the wonderful plugs. Everybody loves their plugs. Everybody needs to get their shit in, just like all the indie workers of the world. Right. All right, so first up, let's do Big G, your plugs.
Well, you guys can follow me at nodq.com/Jeff. That'll take you to my Twitter page. I'm on Instagram at nodq_Big G now. I'm on Facebook. I will be going to Maryland Championship Wrestling this coming weekend, an indie show, so I'll be able to meet a couple people and enjoy myself before watching Extreme Rules. All
right, Gregory Cherry.
You can follow me on Twitter at PA Sensation, nodq.com/Greg, ProWrestlingTees.com/PA Sensation. You can buy those shirts. I'm not doing anything wrestling related until I have to defend this again, which is coming up soon. What is the premiere? Next week? Next week's the premiere? Season 5?
Maybe the anniversary of when it first started.
Well, there you go. July 17th. Yeah. So I'll be defending this championship and keeping it. And That's it for me.
All right, JM Jeff Meacham.
NoDQ.com/Jeff, Jeff, not Geoff, Jeff for my stuff on Twitter. Instagram is _Jeff Meacham. You can also go to NoDQ.com/shirts to buy Talk Wrestling shirt, the Meacham Mayhem shirt, and of course the Here's the Thing shirt. Yes, it's Talk Wrestling shirt. There you go, Big G, giving the plug. Thank you so much, sir. I may or may not be going to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood this weekend on the 15th on Extreme Rules Sunday because the in-ring return of David Arquette.
Interesting.
He's in the ring on Sunday at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood against a guy named RJ City, but it's his first match in 18 years for David Arquette. So
former WCW World Champ.
I may be hopping the transit out to Port Hueneme and skipping Extreme Rules till later on demand because I can't miss David Arquette in the ring, right? So,
wow. So what does that say when Jeff has more interest in seeing David Arquette wrestle than watching Extreme Rules?
Because David Arquette is more extreme than Extreme Rules, damn it.
Ooh, burn.
I'm not sure I can argue that, to be honest with you.
Defense is going to be more extreme than Extreme Rules.
Damn.
Oh, wait, what'd you say?
My first title defense of season 5 is going to be more extreme than Extreme Rules.
Damn.
Season 4 finale was more extreme than anything else.
Yeah. You're not kidding. I nearly had a freaking heart attack.
Hardcore business right there.
Yeah, that was
instead of Extreme Rules, they should just call it PG Rules.
All right, guys.
That's for this show, but not.
Yeah, I'm losing my voice here, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. NoDQ.com for coverage this weekend, and we'll see you guys next time.